Hi everyone, welcome to Supportability Training for Clarity 16.2.0. I am Denise Saladay. We will take a look at what changed for Perpetual teams. We made a big change this release to how the team availability is calculated for Perpetual teams. In the prior release, whenever you staffed a team resource to a regular investment, it would take the rate, the availability rate from the team resource properties and multiply that times the default allocation percent that you've staffed it to the regular investment to get the allocations for the team on the regular investment. In the current release, we're no longer performing that calculation. So the availability rate for team resources will not be displayed in Clarity. As part of the new calculation, we're using the staff of the team investment, which is the true team's capacity. And we're passing that through to any regular investment that the team is staffed on. And as you can expect, there's going to be an upgrade impact for this calculation change, and we'll go into that in detail. Now, let's take a look at Clarity and see what has changed for Perpetual teams. From last release, we changed the team availability calculation. Before upgrade, team availability was based on the team resources availability rate, which would be this value right here. And that would be multiplied by the default allocation percent where you were staffing these team resources to regular investments. In this release, team availability is now based on the staff allocations to the corresponding team investment. And because of that change, we are no longer displaying this availability rate for teams. And we're viewing this right now under Modern in the Resource Workspace Teams tab, and we're looking at the Nighthawks team. Similarly, if you go into Classic Resources, you can see that we're also not displaying that value here for team resources. We're looking at the same resource that we looked at in Modern Nighthawks team. So next, let's take a look at the team investment for the Nighthawks team to view its staff, because this is now the availability for the team. You can see that we have a number of resources here, and the availability or the capacity for the Nighthawks team, and we'll focus on the first quarter, in total is 997 hours, and the whole team allocation is 7,358 hours. And if I navigate to a regular investment, digital banking, what we'll do is we'll add that team resource as staff to this regular project investment. Notice that the allocation on this project for the Nighthawks team matches the total allocation for the corresponding team investment for the Nighthawks team as well. 997 hours in the third quarter and 7,358 hours total. So the allocation for this team resource here is not based on the team resources availability rate times their default allocation percent. It's 100% here for this team resource. Instead, it's based on whatever the staff record allocations are on the Nighthawks team investment allocation records. It should be noted that if I had any non-labor resources that were included on the Nighthawks team, that any allocations for that non-labor resource will be excluded from the team capacity here when you're staffing to regular investments. Let's take another look at a different example for the operations team. This team is staffed in the calendar year of 2023 for the entire year. You can see we have Jason Berry here at 100%, 520 hours every quarter for a total of 2,080 hours for the whole year of 2023. And we'll look at the digital operations project. This regular investment runs only through the last quarter in 2003, but it runs the whole year of 2024. And notice that we have one task entered here for server maintenance, which runs the same duration as the project does, which is October 1st, 2023 through December 31st of 2024. And notice that I don't have any staff added here on this project. So let's add the operations team. And remember, we only staffed this team for 2023, but look what happens whenever we add them to this project. We only have hours here for the operations team for the fourth quarter of 2023 because they weren't available anytime in 2024. Next, we'll go into this task and we'll add an assignment for the team. Notice the assignment here is also for just the fourth quarter of 2023 and doesn't include the whole year that the task ran. But also notice what happened was the assignment date here is December 31st of 2020. And if we go back and look at the task, notice that the task finish date was updated. It used to be December 31st, 2024, but it moved to the end of the year because it knows that the assignment for this team is not available anytime in 2024. So what we're seeing here in summary is that team resources are behaving now more like regular resources do. If we had staffed a regular resource that wasn't available in 2024, we would see the exact same behavior for the allocation, the task, and the assignment for that regular resource as we're seeing for this team resource right now. We're going to see some more differences in regular investments as a result of this change in calculation for the team availability. For example, if we went into Jason Berry's personal calendar and we made him unavailable for the month of December 2023 because he's taking, say, a leave of absence. Last release, because of those changes, they would be reflected in the team investment that he's staffed on, which is operations in this example. But any regular investments that operations was staffed to, those types of changes to Jason's base calendar would not have been reflected last release. But with this change in calculation, they will be reflected because now it's based on Jason's allocation to the operations team, and this team investment operations would already reflect the fact that he's not available in December. So that will now automatically be captured on any regular investments that the operations team, which he's a member of, is staffed to. With this change in calculation, any changes to allocations that users do manually will also be reflected. For example, if I updated the second quarter of 2023 and changed this down to 100 hours, That change, of course, would be impacted in display here for the team investment, but it will also be reflected on any regular investments that this team resource operations is staffed to. But under a regular investment, digital operations here, where this team resource is staffed, if I manually had updated one of the allocations here and I manually changed this to say 50, this number would be preserved because I overrode manually the team staff allocation on the regular investment versus doing that on the team investment, which defines the capacity for the team. This calculation change will impact any existing data that you have prior to upgrade, and plus it will impact any new data that you add in the current release. Because of this change, after upgrade, you should run the time slicing and the time slicing sync jobs immediately after upgrade to ensure that all of the data is recomputed based on the team availability calculation change. Here's a summary of what happens whenever you're staffing teams to regular investments. The items in black define the behavior last release, and any items in blue capture the changes that we made in the current release. Last release, whenever you made staff changes on team investments, and you did things like add a resource to a team, remove a resource from a team, or you updated the resources default allocation percent on a team, those would automatically get reflected in the regular investments that the team was staffed to. Now what we added for this release is if you made any manual updates to per period allocation to the team investment, those changes will automatically flow through now to any regular investments that this team investment is staffed to. In addition, any calendar changes that are made on a resource who's on a team, those will now flow through to the regular investments that this team resource is staffed to. Last release, those changes were captured in the team investment, but they did not flow all the way through to regular investments. And now you'll see that change in behavior. Because of this change in calculation, the team staff allocations on regular investments are now going to match the allocations in total for the team investment, unless you update manually the allocation on the regular investment for that team resource. After upgrade, any existing team data that you had will automatically reflect all of these changes, and any new data that you create will also have this new behavior. And this concludes the supportability training for Perpetual Teams.